What the heck happened? We used to have the absolute worst, I mean worst, situation when it came to properties inside of Notion. The views, the style, the everything sucked. I mean, we're talking a setup where this used to be here and would show up on every client portal I had. That's nuts. Now, you might be saying, okay, Dimitri, that's cool and all, but not all of us tried to use client portals inside of Notion. That's true. But it's just nuts to me that essentially anytime I'd open up a page inside of a database, I felt like I wasn't able to really navigate through that thing. I mean, imagine, do you remember years ago where you couldn't not only open up a page even in a full view, you know? Like say, for example, I went into a client page. I wouldn't have been able to, in a database, click on this and open up the whole client. Like I had to like open up it in a side preview and then see it. And then now, rather than when I press view details, all these properties just showing up over here wasn't a thing, right? I mean, this is baffling to me that I could actually look through this and it won't cause any issues for clients. Because when they click through this, it looks nice. And this works not only in things like client portals, but in many pages. Like now when I go into a piece of client content as well, I click on this and get more data and more information. That is important, but isn't like the top tier important stuff. Now, I am a little bit annoyed that Notion only included 4 main properties in a line. Could we have gotten like 5 or 6? I could have had like status and one other thing. That would have been great. But at the end of the day, I'm not gonna complain because this improvement's awesome. All you need to do to utilize this change is press customize layout and you'll see this property group exists here instead of it existing here. Like for example, let me show you this. Like, oh God, oh God, I don't miss that. Okay, I gotta change it back. Look how much space this took up. Look how much space that used to take up. You had to scroll down so much. Oh, let me get that back. Let me get that back. Come on, get it out of here. Get it out of here. Okay, good. Oh, that was rough. That was not a fun time. But in all seriousness, this is a much better navigating experience than it was previously. You can do a whole lot more with easy navigation between pages now. So many different pages. You just need a couple different properties, and then I want to see like the subtasks, or then if I want to see more info, I can open it up. This improvement is just night and day. Not only that, but for example, on these pages, if I go to customize layout, it wasn't just the properties. There's actually more to it. Sure, you have all these. You have the option to show or not show backlinks. Like if I don't care, that saves more space. Perfect. It also has another option here, which I think is important, which is allows you to pick through different pages to get previews, right? Very cool. And you'll notice on the page settings, you can set inline comments to be default or minimal in the way that it's viewed. And most importantly, I didn't use comments on half my dang databases. And I am so glad that this doesn't have to exist, right? Like once again, waste of like an inch of space. Another inch here with the backlinks, 6 inches. It was like a foot of scrolling I had to do before I got into anything. Oh my goodness, I'd like to thank Notion for making this change because Lord knows I am just not made to not have customization here. If you're somebody who is thinking about using a third-party tool for a client portal, if you have Notion as your project management, don't. It's not worth it anymore. They're gonna improve the speed over time, and you're gonna be able to do better automation stuff over time as they have with like webhooks recently. Just use Notion. It's becoming that all-in-one tool. It's getting there. Now that I finally have the ability to change the way that the layouts are set up in my databases, I can finally do it. And you have the ability, by the way, to reset it to the original layout afterwards or apply it to the whole database. Up to you. You can play around with it and then press cancel. You only have 4 pinned properties here, like I said, but you can pretty much have this be as much as you want. And then it's your normal like show or not show, preview, hide preview thing. I don't like the way they changed relations to interact though. Like you'll see here, show as page section or minimal. It's confusing to understand how this works. Like if I press page section, right? Didn't change. Very confused a little bit on the, okay, so it finally worked when I changed it. As you can see, that's page section versus minimal. It took me a while to figure out that whole thing because it was a little buggy. So page section or show as minimal again. I don't like it too much on that front. I would have preferred if this is something that could be limited a bit more or improved a bit more. They didn't really do much outside of adding the sections. I don't know what it could have been, but I would have just liked one other addition or 2 other additions inside of the setup overall. Having multiple property groups is kind of a cool thing as well. You can always add more panels here. You can have it be specifically just properties. You can have it be specifically anything you want property-wise. You can make changes to the size of the numbers and stuff like that. You can do visual adjustments. You can then remove it from just the layout or the database. Pretty important stuff to note here though is that you also can add sections. You see that? So there's a section here. If I add another section, you see what happens? Check this out. Open it up. Section, open, close, open, close. Really cool stuff there. You have like mini toggle capabilities. I wish they could have been able to manage a bit more of that experience. Like you can have this here with the sections, but I would have liked to see that sort of with the relations group, but beggars can't be choosers. I'm not gonna like really make a complaint here. This is a massive improvement overall. So if I, for example, don't want to have that section anymore, and I just do this, I can remove the section. And then if I remove the sections, no properties will be deleted, but all of the different properties will stay there. As the sections is something I definitely want to look into more to see how I can implement that into everything. But overall, pretty cool stuff. Hope you enjoyed it. I've been using this for the last month or so since it got released, and it was a big game changer for me to not have to move everything to portal-based systems for an external product. Rather, I just use Notion still. Thank you so much for watching this video. Check out my Notion course if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.